Welcome back to another chart with me video, and in this video we're going to go over the US30 market, talking about my entries, my exits, my profit targets, and my full analysis for this particular market. So let's just hop right into it. But before we get to the charting piece, I want to point out the fact that we did this analysis last week, and you can see that I had this idea right here that price will consolidate a bit and then shoot up. It did eventually do that, and I believe that this market moved way more than anybody could ever imagine. So now we're gonna jump right into the weekly chart and just talk a little bit about what has happened this week. Taking a look at this candle on the 1 week time frame, we can see that this moved almost 2,000 points, which is insane. And I don't believe that anybody was really expecting this. If you remember back from this past week, there are two things that made this market very bullish. The first was the US election. No one knew how it was really going to play out and how it was really going to affect the markets. And second was FOMC, where they announced a 0.25% rate cut, which is also 25 basis points. So we did talk about that last week as well. And now that we have the outcome from all of those things, we can see how the market reacted. And we can also see that this led to a 2,000 push in the market on the Dow Jones. And I didn't trade this market specifically, but I had investments that were inside of this particular market or that are represented in this market, and those also pushed. So needless to say, it was a very good week for me, and I really hope that you had one as well. So let's make sure that next week is as strong as possible, and let's go ahead and map this out. So first, we're going to start with the highest point inside of the market on the weekly time frame, and right now this is going to be around 44,159 ish area. We're also going to mark off this other level at 41,600 in, let's just say 65 or 75, we can see right here. And then we're also going to mark off another level. I don't know if I want to go any further than this, 40,208, let's just say. Actually, let me move this up just a little bit more. So 40,200, I like the fact that that's sitting right on top of that. And mainly because we have so much bullish volume. Something crazy in the market would have to happen in order for all of this 2,000 points to be wiped away. So for this week, we're just going to stop right here, and let's just see or hope that the market continues to push up based on the things that we're expecting for this upcoming week. Let's go to the daily time frame. Now we can see that price is perfectly sitting at that all-time high, or at least our level is sitting there. And now we have this level here. It's looking quite good actually at this point, and there's nothing that I want to change here on the daily time frame. So now that we're on the H4 time frame, we have a lot more data. We can see this really bullish move that happened in detail. And of course, with all of this price action, I don't want to have a really big zone. I want to make sure that I have these tradable zones. And the first zone that I'm probably going to mark off is going to be, actually, I'm going to move this up. It's going to be right here at 43,400 roughly. And I chose this level as a support level because it is the most recent price action that we see. And then if we look over here, we can see that there's some price action here. However, it is not the most recent. That's the only reason why I'm not putting it at this level right now. However, on lower time frames, I may see something different and I may make some adjustments. So the other level that I want to mark off is right around 43,740, let's just say. So pretty much right in the center of the zone, 45, 44. And this is just a lot of bullish price action. So we may have to look for things inside of here in order to give us some more tradable zones. So now I want to draw off this level at 42,000, let's just say 42,690. I think that's a nice round number for us to use. And I think that's going to be good for right now for this area. So going down to this area right here, I'm trying to see if there's some zones. I think this could be good. Let me mark this off and see if I like this. And then basically I'm just moving this around. I want to find really clean zones for me to take trades from, possibly. So right here. We're at 41,106, really close to 100 flat on that. So I actually do like this zone a lot better. And if I wanted to create another tradable zone, another zone I think I want to mark off would be actually right here at 40,700. Let's just say a nice round psychological number. Even though we have all of this consolidation within here, I do like the fact that there's a support that was formed here, and then price pushed off from this level and then did this whole leg right here, which is actually quite long. So it's 40,000 all the way up to 41. This is almost 100 points, which is a really large move inside of the market. So this is looking good to me so far. Going down to the H2 time frame and moving things in. However, if we just focus on most recent price action, we can do that just by looking over here, and you can see that our zones are really well defined for the most part. Let me see if I move this down just a little bit so that way it's touching most of the wicks between where this price action ends and where this level is, mainly because we have the most recent price action over here, which formed a support. So that's looking really good. If we go down, this is still looking good. Actually, we could move this up to be at 42,700 almost. So that's actually even better. And then we look at this level right here. We do have a little bit of overhang. So I am going to move this down. And I like, let's see, 41, let's just say 4170, but we could actually move it down just a little bit more. So that way in this area, it's touching the tip of the wicks and just basically just finding the average of that. So 41,640, I like it. The only thing I really want to move down is this right here. And now we're sitting at 40,682, really close to 80. That's close enough. And then we have this area right here where we have this really long wick. So you could either put another level right here at the wick. You can move this line down there or whatever you want to do. But on my chart, this is how I'm going to keep it. I actually really like it. So now let's go down to the H1 time frame. Now that we have a lot more data, we did all the hard work already, just making sure that things are aligned with my levels. All right, everything looks good. So now this is the part of the video where we get into the game plan for this upcoming week. We had all of this bullish momentum from the past week, and it will be really interesting to see if we continue this really strong bullish trend or if we do pull back a bit for this upcoming week. We do have those major news events, or at least data releases, that are coming up this week, 4 of them at least, and that may impact the market in some kind of way. So let's come up with a game plan. So the first thing I want to talk about is the downside risk here, and it should be pretty obvious. We did all of this. That means that we could do all of this, meaning come all the way down here. So I'll possibly be looking for ourselves, but in my mind, since we did all of this right here, I wouldn't be looking for long-term shorts. So if I'm looking for shorts, I would be looking for a short beneath this level right here at 43,730, and then coming down to this level right here. And then possibly, let's just say if price continued to push bearish, then what we could do is see potential sells going even further. Essentially, it will look something like this. You can see basically just correcting that whole move, something crazy would have to happen inside of the market in order for us to just wipe away 2,000 points, especially when we gained it this past week. So like I said, I would be looking for short-term sells if I was looking for a sell for sure, and then basically just following the trend all the way down. But for the most part, I'll be looking for buys, mainly because I want to see if we continue to make new highs inside of the market like we did. And then one thing that I've been playing around with is using the Fibonacci retracement tool when it comes to finding potential levels, especially when we don't have any price information like we don't have up here. So the way I would do this is start from the bottom and then get to the top. And now I have some potential levels, and these are just the levels that I have marked off on my chart. You could mark off whatever you want on yours. However, this level at 44,835 lines up with the negative, or with the 27 extension level And then this is a 61.8 extension level at 45,703. And this 100% level is roughly lining up with 46,663. So a lot to say, but essentially this has been one of the ways that I've been using here recently to figure out where price could potentially go when I don't have any data. And typically what I've seen is that price will come to this 27 extension level, 27.2% extension level, and then sometimes bounce off, or sometimes it'll just plow right through it and head to the 61.8 extension level. So price could basically do anything it wants, but this is the setup and the analysis that I have on this particular market. Just to recap, sells pretty much below here, but they would be short term for me because I would be looking for the buy continuation, especially because we had all of this price action right here that was extremely bullish. Why would I want to go against that? I definitely want to go with the trend. And as far as target zones, it would be these extension levels up here, basically because I have nothing else to go off of. So another thing that I could also do is use psychological levels as well. The other thing that I could do is use psychological levels as well. I've done that in the past and that has also worked really well. So just a couple of different methods to figure out where price could potentially go when you don't have any information. I'm LaKiesha, and if you like this video, then go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Also subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I will see you next time.